Juan Martín del Potro emerged as a generational talent, captivating the tennis world with his unique power and imposing presence. His breakthrough moment arrived at a remarkably young age. At just 20 years old, he achieved the extraordinary feat of winning the U.S. Open title. This victory was made even more significant by who he defeated on his path to glory. During that tournament, Del Potro conquered both Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal. This incredible achievement firmly established him as a force to be reckoned with. Before injury intervened, Del Potro possessed truly exceptional attributes that set him apart. He wielded one of the strongest forehands in the entire history of tennis. His towering height and raw power were a formidable combination on court. This physical prowess, combined with his technique, made him a threat to any opponent. His playing style was perfectly adapted to hard courts, allowing him to dominate rallies. He could dictate points with searing ground strokes and an aggressive mindset. However, beneath this success lay a ticking time bomb. A single recurring injury would relentlessly challenge and almost completely destroy his career. Before 2009, Juan Martín del Potro's career trajectory was one of stable and consistent progression. Each year saw him climb higher in the rankings and grow as a player. He exhibited dominant playing characteristics that defined his game. An aggressive baseline game was his signature, pushing opponents deep behind the baseline. His heavy topspin forehand was his primary weapon, a shot that produced incredible pace and spin. This forehand was feared by every player on the circuit. Coupled with this, Del Potro possessed a strong, accurate serve. It provided him with crucial free points and often set up his devastating forehand. He reached his peak performance and health during this period, ascending rapidly. He achieved a career-high world number 4 ranking between 2008 and 2009. During this early phase, he accumulated an impressive 18 ATP titles. His consistent victories showcased his immense talent and competitive drive. Crucially, he had no significant injury history to speak of. His body appeared robust and capable of withstanding the rigors of professional tennis. Many experts projected a future where Del Potro would consistently contend at the very top. He was widely considered a long-term top 3 player, a true rival to the Big Three. The first major crisis struck in 2010 with a debilitating wrist injury. The diagnosis confirmed significant right wrist tendon damage. This injury immediately impacted his ability to play at his usual standard. He suffered a critical loss of stability and grip strength in his dominant hand. The consequences for his game were profound and instantly noticeable. He found himself unable to execute his forehand normally, the very shot that defined him. Racket control became a serious issue, leading to uncharacteristic errors. His once pinpoint precision began to waver dramatically. The wrist plays an absolutely critical role in the mechanics of tennis. It is essential for forehand acceleration, generating the power and pace Del Potro was known for. Furthermore, the wrist is vital for spin generation, allowing players to manipulate the ball. Without a healthy wrist, his heavy topspin was severely compromised. It also plays a key role in impact absorption during every shot. Each strike of the ball sends force through the wrist, making it highly susceptible to overuse injuries. This initial injury marked the beginning of a long and arduous battle. It foreshadowed the persistent challenges that would plague his career. The journey following that initial injury was marked by ongoing medical interventions. Del Potro underwent several wrist surgeries over the years, a testament to the severity of his condition. Remarkably, not just one, but eventually both wrists were affected. This bilateral damage presented an even greater challenge to his career. He battled chronic issues that persistently undermined his efforts to return. Recurrent inflammation and chronic pain became a constant companion. Wrist tendon damage also carries a high relapse probability. This meant that even after recovery, the risk of re-injury loomed large. Recovery from these procedures proved incredibly difficult and slow. Surgical success rates for wrist injuries in tennis players are notoriously limited. Each attempt to return to competition carried an increased risk of permanent damage. This made every comeback a calculated gamble with his long-term health. The cycle of injury, surgery, and rehabilitation became a defining characteristic of his career. It was a relentless physical and mental struggle. These persistent challenges severely limited his ability to maintain consistent form. They ultimately reshaped his entire professional trajectory. The wrist injuries forced Del Potro into a profound adaptation of his playing style. He had to significantly reduce his powerful topspin forehand. Instead, he began to incorporate more backhand slicing, a shot not typical of his aggressive game. This change was a clear sign of his physical limitations. He was often compelled to play shorter rallies to conserve energy and minimize wrist strain. This fundamentally altered his approach to matches. Lower training intensity also became necessary, making it difficult to build peak fitness. His body simply could not handle the full demands of a top-tier athlete. The impact on his primary weapon, his forehand, was devastating. The once feared powerful forehand became inconsistent, losing its reliable potency. This decline affected his rhythm in matches and eroded his physical confidence. He could no longer fully trust his most crucial shot. The medical severity of wrist injuries in tennis cannot be overstated. Tendons, unlike muscles, regenerate slowly, making recovery a lengthy process. Nerve sensitivity in the wrist remains high, contributing to persistent pain. Even after healing, the area can remain delicate and prone to irritation. Scar tissue formation further reduces mobility and flexibility in the joint. This can prevent a full return to pre-injury range of motion and strength. Complete recovery rarely reaches 100%, meaning some degree of compromise often remains. This lingering effect is particularly challenging for athletes reliant on precise movements. The profound impact of his injuries led to immense career instability. He experienced irregular tournament scheduling, making it impossible to build momentum. This resulted in reduced ranking continuity, as he couldn't compete consistently. He was constantly fighting to regain his standing. Del Potro missed multiple full seasons, costing him crucial ranking points. These prolonged absences made it incredibly difficult to return to the top echelon. He ultimately found himself unable to sustain peak performance for any extended period. The body simply wouldn't allow for continuous high-level play. This prevented him from consistently defending titles and competing at the highest level. His career became a series of tantalizing comebacks, followed by painful setbacks. The eventual decision to retire was an agonizing yet necessary one. He suffered from permanent pain, even in his daily life. His training capacity in his final years was minimal, a stark contrast to his prime. He could no longer prepare adequately for professional competition. The risk of permanent damage and a declining daily quality of life became too great. Continuing to play would have jeopardized his future well-being. Ultimately, his professional performance could no longer be maintained at a competitive standard. The physical toll proved to be insurmountable. Juan Martín del Potro's career serves as a poignant example in sports. It illustrates how wrist injuries are among the most career-limiting in professional tennis. His journey highlighted the unpredictable nature of surgical success in such cases. Repeated relapses significantly reduce long-term viability for athletes. Even with immense talent and unwavering determination, there is an ultimate limitation. Elite ability cannot overcome structural physical damage. Del Potro's career was ultimately defined and limited by medical reality. It was not a question of his skill, desire, or fight. His story is a testament to what could have been, and a stark reminder. Even the most gifted athletes are vulnerable to the fragility of the human body. His legacy, though curtailed, remains one of incredible power and resilience. He fought an inspiring battle against an invisible, yet debilitating opponent.